Everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got an exciting episode. We're going to be doing some comparisons between some micro handguns in 380 ACP. We're going to specifically looking at the PR3AT from KelTec. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. All right, well, why don't we take a look at these today? Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a head-to-head comparison. I've got two different bodyguards, and I've got the KelTec PR3AT. That's a new KelTec version that's got the rotating barrel. It's got an internal magazine. It's got some really cool features. Check those out. I've got a video already done talking about the gun, talking about its features, taking it down, taking a look at the insides. It's really a cool gun. And I talked about some of the pros and cons with how you load it and maybe some issues with some of the clips that they have. Yes, they are clips. And also we showed some ammunition that really it does not like the external hollow points. But today we're going to be shooting probably a lot more FMJ type ammunition. We're just going to be doing some comparisons between, I have the Bodyguard 2.0 for Performance Center. It's their carry comp version. I have my Bodyguard that we have a red dot or green dot optic sight cut for it. That's the OG Bodyguard 2.0. And then we have the KelTec PR3AT that and the version that I got is the 13 round version. So it's a little bit longer grip and it has just that, and it already comes with the Viridian optic mounted on it. So that's pretty cool. All right, well, that's going to be what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be shooting them back to back, see if we can get some videos of maybe some recoil, get some feels on it. Just kind of, have some fun out here today. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. So again, just taking a quick look at this PR3AT. We have here, it's got the lugs for locking up the barrel at the front. That's kind of cool, right? And then what it has inside here is it has an internal magazine that you can push down on that is spring loaded. And then we have here some clips that you have with it that you can stick into the gun and load it. It's really not too bad once you get used to it, if I can do it right and didn't leave one out, but really not too bad. I think you can train to get used to it. I don't think it's ever going to be as fast as a magazine, but it's not that bad. With the real downside, and I showed in the last video, is if you ever have a stuck round in here, it becomes kind of a cluster that's going on in there, and I had some hard times getting it all unstuck. All right, well, that's how we get it set up. Why don't we do some shots with this? I've got 7 rounds. Well, I will have 7 rounds loaded. There we go. I now have 7 rounds loaded in here. I've got 7 rounds loaded in the other 2 guns. We'll shoot them back to back and we'll just see how they feel shooting one after another. I just have some FMJ PMC bronze ammunition. We got the KelTec PR3AT loaded up. We're at about 25 yards-ish, 23 yards at. We'll see what we can do. See how we shoot these 7 rounds? A little bit faster is what I'm going to go for. Maybe I'm going to miss the plate. I don't care. But I just want to get a feel for muzzle rise, how it handles it. This rotating barrel should be good. We'll compare it against the straight Bodyguard. We'll compare it against the comped version. And again, I do like the Bodyguards ergonomically just a little bit better. I feel like I can get a little bit better grip on these. So I can get higher up on it than I can with this PR3AT. I wish they'd designed and undercut a little bit better so you can get a little bit higher up on that, but whatever, it's there. So yeah, we'll see how we do. And I forgot, has a really long trigger. All right, there's that one. Now we'll take my OG Bodyguard 2.0. The trigger's much better in that one. Now we'll do our Performance Center one that has a little bit of a compensator on it. Oh, I even had a little hiccup in that. This is that mag that I never get locked back on. Even had a little hook back where I didn't reset the trigger. The recoil feels the same, guys. You can tell a little bit. This does take a little bit of recoil off with that compensator. Not much. There's so little recoil in these 380 ACPs. It's really not that much of a difference. Even when I go from this one to this one, what I will say is, the hardest part is controlling that very long double action trigger pull. And I know some people say that's the way a pocket pistol is supposed to be designed. Okay, I get that, right? So a very long double action trigger pull. But what is not great on that is the very long double action trigger pull comes back off. You got to reset that every time. And then there is a false reset right there. Do you hear that? That's not the trigger. Watch, listen again. Well, listen, I'll put it right next to here. This is where the microphone is. Hear that? That's false. That's not a reset. So you go here, cycle the gun, and then false reset, way out to here, real reset. Now you can pull it again. That's the problem. The problem is not the long, it throws you off guard. You can train. It throws me off guard when I have that very long thing because I was like, oh, when's it going to break? When's it going to break? I'm pulling. You can train into that. That's no problem. It's like a double action revolver. You just know you're going to have that long thing. You kind of pre-stage it, all of those things. That's great. But what messes you up is that short reset. Now, ironically, I say all that, and then I had a problem with resetting the trigger on the Bodyguard. All right, well, let's keep shooting. Let's see if we can't do a little bit more sciencey stuff. I'll try to lay this out so that we have the recoil in slow motion from all three guns kind of at once. I don't know if I can do that. I know I can at least do two of them. That way you have back-to-back comparisons. I'm not sure what we'll learn from that. It doesn't feel like one is recoiling that much more than the other. So let's take a look at that now. Well, we will load. One of the good things is you can just load it. You don't have to use those stripper clips. All right, let me start the slow motion camera. Get one shot on here. Make sure I'm in range. All right, stop the slow motion camera. Load up the next round. Next up, we have the comp version. All right, load up the next round. Here we go. Start the slow motion camera. Make sure we're there. All right, stop that camera. We will load up the non-comp version. Get our camera set up. Here we go. All right, I mean, I can tell the difference on the comp, but between just these two guns, it's just a very different shooting experience altogether with this. Honestly, it reminds me quite a bit of shooting the LCP Max, which I didn't particularly like, so take that for what it's worth. Okay, we're gonna do a fun little test. We're down at about 20 yards. We're gonna see what we can do with the target way down there at 20 yards. See if we can get hits onto the target. We'll go down and take a look at it. We'll turn on this googly eye camera. We'll see if you can see any of the shots that we get with it. But yeah, so the PR3AT, 20 yards. Okay, my shots are all over the place, but in some sense, I'm getting hits in man-sized target-ish at 20 yards, so that's working. Let's go down and take a look, then we'll shoot one of the other guns. At 20 yards, man-sized target, and if it was steel, you'd just hear the clank on all of them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm gonna pace those up. That's about an 8-inch-ish, 9, 10-inch group that we have going on there. Let's see what we can do with some of the other pistols. Okay, we're back at 20 yards again. This time we have the Carry Comp Performance Center version. Remember, this Performance Center version doesn't have a better trigger. It's the same trigger. In fact, it's a little heavier than the other one because the other one's worn in. But yeah, we'll see how we do with the old iron sights. Yes, I'm well aware of that these guns are not meant for 20 yards. I'm just trying to see if there's a difference between them and me shooting them so that you can get a judge of, is this a gun that you want to buy and want to own or not? That's why we're doing it. I realize these are up close and personal guns. Trust me. All right, let's go down, take a look. Well, now we get into one of the issues with the old iron sights is, one, my eyes are a bit blurry, and at that distance I can't, but this is our group. This is a fresh board, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those were the shots that we had. That group is tighter than that group over there. Yes, it's up and shifted, but that's this ammo versus this gun and how I'm seeing it. So, you know, again, we're looking at size of group. That's a smaller group. That's a probably 6-inch group-ish there that we have going on there. Maybe 7-inch. So a little bit smaller, a little bit closer together. Now let's see when we add the optic. I'll paste these up and we'll get going. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to shoot 7 shots with this. Now, I've actually already shot 7 shots of this. I forgot to turn that camera on. I left this camera on. We'll cut to me shooting the 7 shots, and then we'll go down range, pick up where we left off. Yep, there's our 7 shots. I believe it's 7 sometimes. Oh. Okay, there's our 7-shot group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's not bad. We're really getting into that 6-inch, 5-inch mark where our group size really tightens up. That's not a bad group. Candidly, if I were shooting, you know, a 9mm pistol, 4-inch, 5-inch barrel with an optic, I'd probably be getting the same group. So I do think the optic matters. I do think the trigger matters and the ergonomics. So that's about as good as I could get with that big, heavy double action trigger from the KelTec one. About as good as I'm going to get with the optic mounted micro pistol. I don't know. All right, well, let's wrap things up. Today we had a fun time with this KelTec PR3AT and the Bodyguard 2.0 and the Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center Carry Comp version. Boy, they're all really fun guns, and sometimes, look, you just get a gun because it's fun. This KelTec is fun. It's got that rotating barrel. It's got the internal magazine. It's got the stripper clips that you push on through the top. There's some fun things about that, and sometimes you just go out to the range and you have a fun time. In terms of what would I choose for self-defense, it's no doubt in my mind I would choose the Bodyguard all day long, every day over the KelTec PR3AT. Maybe you're different. Maybe you prefer carrying something just a little bit different than everyone else, and so you're going to carry that one. Just be aware that if you get a jam, it can be a bugger to get out, so make sure you've run the right ammo. Really practice with that stripper clip. I think you can be almost as fast, at least loading the next 7 rounds you can. Maybe not the next 13-round magazine like you can with the Bodyguard, but I think those are pros and cons of it. The trigger reset we covered, that's a big issue. But other than that, guns seem to be running fine. They all seem to be doing their thing, which is great. It's fun just being out here. Weather's starting to warm up just a little bit. I'm enjoying the shooting. Hope you are as well. Hope everyone has a great week. Let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Review and each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Living for freedom, defending our rights. We got it.